Hello everyone. In this roleplay, our team will be demonstrating an online job interview for positions in the game development industry. The company we are using is Blizzard Entertainment as inspiration, and we will be presenting two different interview performances. One candidate will demonstrate some of the qualities of a strong interviewee, while the other will demonstrate some common mistakes that candidates can make during an interview. Let's introduce our three cast members. First, we have Nisa, who will be our interviewer. She'll be conducting both interviews and asking the candidates about their experience, portfolios, and approach to game development. Next, we have Hanan, who will be applying for the position of 2D animator. Her portfolio features a 2D romance and confession scene, and she will be representing our strong interview example. And finally, we have Ayman, who will be applying for the position of 3D artist. His portfolio focuses on the 3D cafe interior, and he will be representing our wicked interview example. With that said, let's begin.
Hi Hanan, can you hear me alright?
Yep, loud and clear.
Perfect. Welcome and thanks for making time for today. How's your day been so far?
It's been good, but not gonna lie, I was a little nervous before joining.
Honestly, that's completely normal. If you weren't a little bit, I'd probably be more concerned. Alright, let's start with something simple. Tell me a little about yourself and what made you apply for the 2D animated role.
I'm a fresh graduate in game design and animation, and somewhere along the way, I realized I kept choosing character animation whenever I had the chance. I like the idea that a small movement like a glance or a hand gesture can completely change how a scene feels. I've also admired games where characters have a lot of personality, so working at a studio like this feels like the kind of environment I love to grow in.
I like that answer. You mentioned small movement, and that actually reminds me of one of your portfolio pieces, the confession animation. That one caught my attention. Why that scene?
Funny enough, because I thought it'd be easier.
And then,
Then I learned emotional scenes are actually harder. At first, I focused too much on making the characters look pretty, but it didn't feel convincing. So I started studying real conversations. People hesitate, they look away, they shift their weight, they pause before saying something important. I rebuilt parts of the animation around those little moments instead.
oh, that's interesting. You started observing real people instead of just animating poses.
Exactly. My favorite moment is actually before the confession. The character takes a breath and almost backs out before finally saying it. It's only a few frames, but it's probably the part I'm happiest with.
Was that your first version?
Um, Not even close. Not really. I think I sported 6 versions. My lecturer keeps saying, the emotion's there, but you're rushing it. At first, I thought it's only a few frames. Turns out those few frames mattered a lot.
That's something people underestimate about animation. How do you usually deal with feedback, especially when someone tells you to change something you already spent hours on?
I used to take it personally during my first semester, but after more group projects, I realized everyone wants the same thing, the project to become better. Now, I ask questions first. If someone says an expression feels off, I want to know why. That usually helps me to fix the real issue instead of just guessing.
But that's a pretty collaborative mindset. Let's say you're working with a game designer, and 2 days before a milestone, they ask for changes to an important animation. What's your approach?
I'd ask which part is actually affecting gameplay or storytelling first. Then I'll estimate how much can realistically be changed before the deadline instead of saying yes to everything. I think honest communication is better than promising something impossible. So yeah.
That's probably a healthier answer than trying to become everyone's hero. One last question. You're competing with people who already have industry experience. Why should we take a chance on a fresh graduate?
I don't think I can compete with experience yet. What I can compete with is my willingness to learn.
I appreciate the answer. Those are all my questions for those are all my questions for today. Thanks for sharing your work and your thought process. We'll be finishing the remaining interviews over the next few days and we will get back to you afterward. Have a great day. Okay. Hi Ayman, welcome.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us today. Before we jump into the question, how's your day going?
Pretty alright. Just trying not to overthink this interview.
That's fair. Interview can be intimidating. Let's start with an introduction. Tell me a little about yourself and what attracted you to the 3D artist role.
I'm a fresh graduate in game design and animation. Most of my work is 3D, especially environment art. I enjoy building places people can imagine walking around in. Yeah.
Nice. Speaking of environment, your cafe interior stood out in your portfolio. Walk me through that project.
It's basically a cozy cafe with tables, chairs, decoration, lighting, and stuff. To make it, I used a few reference photo to make it realistic. Yeah,
What was your goal when designing it? Was there a particular atmosphere you wanted players to feel?
just comfortable place, I guess. Somewhere you want to sit and have a coffee.
Fair enough. Which part are you most proud of?
I guess the furniture, the chairs took longer than I expected, and I can remodel them, but now they look good enough for me.
I know check can be surprisingly annoying. What would you say was the biggest challenge during the project?
Getting everything to fit together, I guess. Sometimes I finish one episode like the chair, put it into the scene and realize it looks the scale look weird. So I kept resizing and resizing all of it until I got the proportions almost right, I guess.
That's pretty common with environment work. I'm curious about your lighting. How do you decide where to place your lights?
Uh, Mostly where real cafes usually have them. I adjust the brightness until they look good enough.
If this environment were actually going into game, what would you prioritize when optimizing it?
I guess I reduce polygons and there was some props. I didn't really think much about optimization though.
I appreciate your being honest about that. It's actually easier to improve a skill when you know where the gap is. Speaking of improvement, what's one area you're actively trying to get better at?
I guess the lighting, definitely. I'm still watching tutorials and configuring the settings, still trying to learn and, experiment with it.
That's good to hear. Last question. Why do you think you'll be good fit for our studio?
Uh, I get because I like creating environments and I think working with experienced artists it will help me improve a lot faster than working alone. I I love the chance to learn while contributing where I can.
Okay, thank you, Ayman. I appreciate your time today and for sharing your work with us. Uh, we'll we will finish reviewing all the candidates, and we will get back to you once the interview process is complete.
All right, thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. From these two interviews, we can see that having a good portfolio is only one part of making a strong impression during a job interview. Hanan, for example, demonstrated several qualities of a strong interviewee. She gives specific examples from project, explained the reasoning behind creative decisions, and showed that she was willing to accept feedback and improve her work. She also spoke clearly and confidently throughout the interview. Even though she is a fresh graduate, she was able to communicate her strengths without pretending that she already had years of professional experience. Ayman, on the other hand, demonstrated some common weaknesses that can occur during an interview. He was unnoticeably more nervous and less confident when answering questions. At several points, he hesitated, stuttered, or even gave answers that were difficult to hear or understand clearly. His answer was also quite general. When discussing his cafe environment, he mostly described only what he had created rather than explaining the decisions behind this creation of his. All in all, this is why preparation is important, especially for fresh graduates. A good portfolio can show what you can make, but that interview gives you the opportunity to show how you think, communicate, and work with others. That concludes our video. Thank you for watching.